Alright, hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing you how to shoot bullets and create bullets. Um, so there's actually two main ways to do this. You can do it through creating objects at runtime or just making them before the program even starts. So I'm going to make a video on both because they're both useful in their own little ways. So we're going to just name this project shooting. And we're just going to wait for this to load up. Alright, so what we're going to do for this project is we're going to make it a Galaga style game. That'll just make it the easiest on me. So in any Galaga game, we obviously need a main character. So let's go ahead and create him right now using a picture box. Rename him to Pick Ship and set his back color. It doesn't matter, just pick one. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to tackle the class part of this. So go into your Solution Explorer here on the right, right-click on your the top of your project, and go over to Add. It'll drop down, and you want to hit Class. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to name this class Bullet, and you don't have to say bullet.bb or anything like that. Just name it Bullet. So essentially, what classes are is I like to think of them as the tools in the toolbox, like a picture box or a timer. Those are all classes that have been pre-made for you by Microsoft that you can utilize. So when we make a class, we're just creating our own custom one. So what we're going to do in public class Bullet, classes are mainly just code. I have not used any sort of tools on the design part of them, so I don't know about that. But so what we're going to type is we're going to type in inherits, and this is going to say, tell Visual Basic, we're taking a current class that exists, and we're taking its properties and giving it to our own. So we're going to say inherits picture box. So basically, this bullet that we create, it's going to be similar to a picture box. So, a picture box has the, dot left, dot back color, all those. Now this bullet's going to have that too. We're going to come down a few lines, type in public sub, so we're going to create a new sub procedure. And instead of naming the sub procedure something, we're going to say public sub new. And what's new is going to say is every time we create one of these, it'll run through here. So this is basically our constructor. So now we need to set the properties of this bullet so we can, make it look like a bullet. So now we can say me.back color equals this, me.size, me.location, and that's fine. But what I like to do, just a side note, I like to use the with statement. And with will allow us to just save a little bit of time on the hands. So we'll say with me. So now anything we put under this with statement, it'll refer it back to me. Now if we were on a form with pick ship, you could say with pick ship and set a bunch of its properties. So I'll show you what I mean. With me, we can say just dot back color. We can just type dot back color equals, and well, we actually don't need a back color for our bullet, but we do need dot size equals new size, and we'll give it 10 and 30 because that'll look the most like a bullet. Dot location is going to equal form1 dot pick ship dot location. So also we want to say dot background image layout equals stretch because I want to put an image in here. And actually, I don't even have that in my resources just yet. Just give me 1 second, sorry. Now, you don't have to have a picture in here, but I'll just use it for the sake of it looking good. Red laser, there it is. Alright, so back to our class. Dot background image equals my dot resources dot red laser. Now, that should be all for our constructor. Don't think we need anything else just yet. So now get out of this sub and go down a few lines. Now we're going to make what's called a method, and this is what our bullet can essentially do. So public sub, and we're going to name it shoot. So now what we can do in our code, if we create a new bullet called bullet1, I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, we could essentially say bullet1.shoot, and it will take bullet1 and it will do whatever we put under the sub procedure for that bullet. So what's going to happen when we say shoot? Well, obviously it's going to shoot. So me.top and a counter minus equals 3. And as you could imagine, we'll need to put this shoot under a timer, and we'll do that under our main form. So now we have our bullet class. We've created this object. Well, we haven't created any yet. So what we're going to do is under our form, well, before I get into any coding, let's create a timer. This will be our shooting timer. So we'll rename that TMR shoot. Set it to 10 interval. Alright, now we can move on to the code. So just double click, and we're going to need to again open up the key down procedure for the form. So we're going to say select case e.keycode, and we're going to refer to the space key. So now, what's going to happen when we hit the space key? Well, first of all, let's back up for just a second. We need some variables. So we're going to make dim, and this is how you would create a bullet at runtime, but we're going to make the array first. Dim bullets, and then we'll say -1, so it doesn't have anything yet, as bullet. You see how I did that? Because we created that bullet. We created that class. So now we're also going to need a counter to create these bullets, and we're just going to say as integer, because it's just a number. So now, we're going to go back to our key down. So every time we hit space, what do we need to happen? Well, first of all, we need to resize that array, because if we're constantly creating bullets, that array is going to need to get bigger and bigger to account for every bullet that we have. In order to do that, we need to use a redim statement. We're giving it new dimension. But also, we don't want to lose what we already have in that array. So we're going to type redim preserve. So it's going to preserve what we already have in that array. It's just going to make it bigger. And so we're going to say redim preserve this array int count. So our count is going to be constantly incremented by 1, and it's going to make it bigger that much every time. So now what we need to do is we're going to actually create this bullet. So dim bullet 1 as new, sorry for my typing, new bullet. So now we just created that bullet. For that to even be visible, though, we need to say controls dot add bullets 1. Alright, there we go. Because if you don't have controls dot add, it won't even be there. It'll be there in the code, but not in the design view. It doesn't really make sense, but that's how it is. So that's we're almost done, but now we need to say bullets, we're referring back to our array, in count the last space, because we just made it bigger. So the last space, the empty space, is going to be equal to this new bullet that we create, so we can access it later. And then we need to increment our counter. And we also need to enable our shoot timer, so every bullet that's out essentially starts shooting when we hit the button. So we need to go back to our design view, grab our timer, and open up its subprocedure. Let me get rid of form load, just in the way. So now, and excuse me, I forgot to make this bigger so you can see it, but I'll just give you a second to look at that. That's the code that we had before, that I was typing. So if you couldn't see it, just take a quick look. It wasn't too much. There's the bullet too. So that's all we have in our public class bullet. Not too much, but if you couldn't see it, sorry about that, but I give you a chance to look at it now. So we're going to keep on going with this. So under our TMR shoot timer, we need to make a for next loop array so we can look through all these bullets. So we're going to say for, I don't know, x. You don't have to, it can just be anything. For x equals 0, 2, now we're going to refer back to our array, x equals 0, 2, bullets, dot length, -1. So now it's going to look through, it's going to give x a value from 0 to however many we have, so it can check every single one that we have. So it's going to say bullets x, so we can refer to each one individually, dot shoot. And now whatever is under our shoot subprocedure under our class, it'll do that, and all we have it is moving. So now, if we run it, you should be able to see, if everything goes well, that every time I press the spacebar, it creates a new one, a new laser, a new bullet. And you can see that the bullets are being created at runtime, and they never actually go away. That can, of course, cause some problems with lag when you're making bigger games, but I know this was requested, so this is, of course, how you make the bullet during runtime and shoot it. So I'm going to now go on to the second part of this video, so if you're interested, you can watch that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for using classes and objects at runtime to create bullets and shoot them.